Absolutely. I was just looking over your campaign stats. It looks like we're off to a good start here. Is it cool if I screen share?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Awesome. So here's your campaign as it's kicking off so far. Um, Things are definitely a hit at the moment. We are, looks like we're a little bit over a quarter of the way in, and we have not 18 leads. Yeah, 18 leads at the moment. And we're
18, yeah, 18.
yeah. And then we're only a quarter of the way in so far, and that's a great sign, right? So if we only have a quarter of a way in, that might mean that we end up over 40 leads for this campaign, which is awesome.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully.
So the numbers are turning out great. And now I'll kind of give you a breakdown on what's actually happening so you can get a feel. And what's happening here is we've done 749 dials for you already. Okay. Out of those 749, 149 people have answered the phone. And that's huge. Okay, just so you know, your contact rate is 19.89%, which is actually one of the highest I've seen this month for sure. So 19% of people we called picked up the phone, which is a great sign. So that means your market is good. All right, they're answering when we call. So that's number one.
Right.
The next thing is only 29 of those people told us that we had the wrong number.
Okay.
And that means that 81% of the people that picked up the phone actually owned the piece of land that we were calling about. All right. So just stellar results. So those numbers are great. And then through that, 9 became a lead, which is good. So that's one of the reasons why you have so many leads is we spoke to a lot of people, and most of those people were the person that owned the land. And then that translated to 9 leads. Then for our text messaging, we completed 732 text messages. 104 people responded, which is also great. That's almost like 15%, which is huge. And then 9 of those became a lead, which is great. So both of your KPIs, even other than leads, like the leads are awesome. That's what we want to see. But all of the other numbers looked perfect too. And I think that's also important. If you're getting a 15% response rate, that's amazing. That means probably 50 people are looking at it, and then 15 are just or 15% are just looking are just responding to it. So really, really good results on this campaign so far.
Yeah.
How has everything been on your side with the leads and calling them back and stuff like that?
Okay. Out of the 18 leads, well, I called everybody so far.
Okay.
No, not everybody. I called 17 of them because one of them I just got them last night. I didn't call him
Okay.
yet.
Perfect.
Out of the 17, I only spoke with like 7.
Okay.
The rest doesn't pick up the phone.
Yeah.
I called them, most of them, since the beginning of the campaign. I was getting leads. So the ones that I got from the beginning, I called it like 3 or 4 times. They still don't pick up the phone.
Gotcha.
So some of them, I send them a text message.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
I create like a small script with ChatGPT, and but still no answer.
Okay.
Once that out of those 7 that they didn't answer, and I send a text message, if they have an email, I send them an email too. Still no answer. I don't know what, if I doing something wrong on my end or.
I don't think that you're doing anything wrong. The most common thing we hear is, Nick, it's hard to get him back on the phone sometimes. So what I would try to do if I were you is I would try to call them within maybe 1 hour of receiving them. And the sooner you call them to them getting off the phone with us, the higher of a chance you're going to have of getting them back on the phone.
Yeah, but most of the lead I got them at night, so I didn't want to call them at night because it's gonna be probably worse.
Right. Yeah. So you mean most of the leads you got them at night? So just so you know, if you get a lead, other than the texting leads, if you ever get a cold calling lead, then that came in the very second it's generated. So if you ever get a cold calling lead, you can know we just got off the phone with them. That's the one I would call ASAP. The texting leads, those are the ones that I agree with you. Those often come in at night. Maybe you shoot them a text at night. Hey, I just got your info. Is it okay if we chat tomorrow? And then the other thing I would do is I would come up with the system. And that is you call them, and as soon as they don't answer, you text them. And then for the next 2 weeks, I recommend you call that person 3 times a week for 2 weeks before you give up. Okay. That's kind of my.
How many touches should I have with them?
So I recommend you attempt 7 touches in total with calls.
Including text and calls.
But each touch, in my opinion, should be a call. And every time they miss that call, you text them. Hey, I was just following up. And then you know what? Something I say to people that really works sometimes, okay, is on the follow-up text, I basically say, hey, this will be my last time reaching out. I really don't mean to bother you. So I would let your first 4 touches be vague, and like your 5th or 6th touch, let the follow-up text be like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to bother you. This will be the last text you receive from me. And I like doing that because you'd be surprised how many people will be like, oh no, I've just been busy, right? Because they're they actually do want you to keep following up. You just can't hear them say that sometimes. But I noticed that let your last text message say that in there. Hey, I'm not trying to bother. This will be my last text message if you don't reply. And that's kind of how I think is the best way to approach that.
Okay. Do you have like I'm at work right now. I work in construction, so I'm on a job site.
Yeah.
And I basically don't have anything to write down right now.
Yeah.
Do you have a script or a text that I can send, something written that you can send me?
Yeah. Yeah. Like a template or something.
Yeah. I made my own template with my text, hey, I'm as associate, reach you out about this and blah, 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 and just following up. You might be busy, please call me back or tell me when is a good time to call you back. Something like that.
Okay. No, I like that. What I'll do is I'll create a couple of text messages and things and scripts for you to follow. I'll do that.
And I did something similar with my emails for the ones that have an email account.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly what you should be sending them. Yeah, I think that's great. I'll do that. Let me make a note real quick, and I'll do that today.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm trying to get in like an early launch so I can be in a call now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want everybody, with the noise. I'm inside a garage at the house we're working on.
100%. 100%. So I'll get these typed up probably by tomorrow, the latest. My goal will be by the end of the day today. And then I'll get that sent over. The 7 calls you did have with them, how did those calls go?
Unfortunately, most of them, it was like 2 or 3 that they wanted to sell, but they have problems with the property. One, it was a burn house. Okay. They have demo the whole thing. It was a house before, but they consider it like empty lot.
Yeah.
They have to demolish the whole thing, and it's gonna take a while.
Gotcha.
The other 2 were landlords, but they were really bad. One of them was in the back of a house, but the back of a house is basically a creek, a very deep creek.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know how that guy bought that property, but he's stuck with that.
Yeah.
The other one, he said he wanted to sell right away. He's tired to pay the taxes and everything.
Perfect.
It's a landlord, but it's a very narrow lot that is in front of his lot. and there's no access. There's no way how to get access to that.
Gotcha.
Big block, and there's nothing behind. So I don't know where to get access. I mean, legal access to that property. So I don't know if I can sell it.
Right. So here's a couple of my opinions, what you shared with me. The first thing, the guy with the burned property is, I think one good question for him is, what if I could handle the demo of that what if you sold me that property as is and you didn't have to do anything with it, right? So the other thing that we're on the lookout for is a property that needs a lot of work that the homeowner doesn't really want to do. They might be relieved if you're like, hey man, sell it to me with that burned fucking property on it. I don't care. But then you get it for a way better price. And then you let the next person deal with demoing that. So one strategy would be talking to them about that pain. Hey, what if I took that off your plate? What would you sell me the property for if you didn't have to invest $40,000 on tearing down this property, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good one. And the other one was
yeah, I tried with that one, with the burn house. I told him that. He's
Okay.
asking much, even though if I do the job or whatever, he's asking me a price high over the market price.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Okay.
the properties around there are like probably 15 grand. He wants 40. And there is a house in there. So there's no way.
And the other thing I would do with people like him is, even though he's talking tough, I would feel free to find a way to make a low ball up. Well, look, I could, I understand your situation. I can offer you 15 on it right now. Because sometimes even though they're talking tough, you throw someone an offer and they might get back to you, well, that's the way it works with me. If someone gives me a low offer, I wait 4 days and I'm like, well, there are no other offers coming in. So sometimes I might as well sell. So that's one. The other guy with the landlocked property, what I would do, and some people do this, is we can do something called a neighbor campaign. And then we can call the neighbors that landlocked property is around. And then sometimes the people that it's landlocked with will actually buy it. Maybe they've been dying to buy that piece of land back too. So that would be an offloading strategy, even for the one with no access. Find out who it's around and call those people too.
Yeah, I try. I check everything, all my options. That's one of the strategies they teach us at LPG.
Okay.
And but these two were really bad. And the one basically down a creek, and there's no way, there's no access from anywhere, not even the. And the other one, it's kind of similar. This is a very narrow property, and the neighbors, they have no access. So there's no access anywhere for those two. Oh, and I talked to another lady. She's willing to sell, but she just bought the property last year and she paid a lot of money. She doesn't want to pay. I mean, she
doesn't want to let it go yet. Yeah. Well, I will. Go ahead.
Is there any way we can narrow probably those calls regarding the people that just bought the property?
Yeah. So I'll make sure that my team knows we shouldn't be pulling properties that were bought within the last 2 years. That should be standard, but let me just double check with my team, and I can make sure on your next campaigns that we're not calling people that recently.
No, because that was my case. I have a property I bought last year for X amount of money, and I'm not gonna sell it for less than that, unless I'm desperate. I tried to play that role, but she's not desperate. So
yeah.
So
yeah, no, and I will say to your credit, you're doing a great job, Hans. You're calling the leads, you're checking your options, you're doing your part. So I do just want you to know that. Sounds like you're doing everything right. So you're definitely going to be onto something. We're only a quarter away into this campaign, a little bit more. So you've only kind of used $300 of the $950. So I'm also optimistic if you keep up your great attitude and
Yeah,
the
no, I'm
leads.
gonna keep up with the
Yeah,
other
and,
one.
and
Didn't answer me yet. I'm still, I don't know how long I'm gonna wait between the calls, but
yeah.
I'm gonna keep calling or texting.
Yeah, no, I think you're really killing it. And I just want to commend you for that. I talk to a lot of clients every day, and you'd be surprised how many people don't make the calls and don't follow up with the leads and stuff. And so,
It's tough. I mean, it's not easy, but I mean, I'm betting a lot of money to try to do this. I don't want to lose my money, you know.
right, 100%, 100%. If anything, yeah, we want to make it.
I'm not talking about your campaign. I'm talking about the LPG program because it's very expensive.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Yeah, and then if we're lucky, we can flip that. And is there any other questions that you have for me?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, it has nothing to do with your campaign. It's from one of my mailer campaigns that I
Okay.
do. I have a guy. Usually, I mean, the calling and the mailings are completely different beasts, you know, different animals. They are
Mhm.
completely different.
Totally different leads, right?
The ones that I send the mailers, they call me because they want me to send him an offer, you know. So there's no doubt about it. Either they make a contract, I get a deal or not, they are willing to sell.
Right. Good point. Yeah.
I don't know, so we have to figure out a way to work with them. Now, I have one of the mailers that called me and sent me a message. Unfortunately, I didn't pick up the phone on that one. So I called him back and I did my research and I sent him an offer for the properties probably around in that area. It's a very nice area, but they are about 40 grand, okay? So according to LPG strategies, you send them an offer for like 15 or 20%.
Okay.
Even because it was a nice area, I offered him like probably more than 40%.
Okay.
Okay, so the property is valued at 40,000. I sent him an offer for 25,000. And I didn't hear anything until 2 days after, and the guy texted me back because he didn't answer the phone. I was calling, and I sent him the same text message, you know, hey, I miss you, your call, but I'm interested in sending you an offer and blah, blah, blah. So I sent him my offer via text. And I offered him $25,000. So a couple after he answered me back, he said, well, it looks like you are not interested because I have a bid for 35,000. And I answered him right back. I don't know if I did good or bad, but told him, okay, if I offer you, he said he has an offer for 35 and I offered him 25, right? So I told him, if I offer you 36, which is $1,000 over the bid that he has already, will you sign the contract today? And just leave it like that. And he didn't answer back yet. But I don't know if it was too straightforward or not.
Yeah. You know what I would, I think it depends on the value of the property, and what you think you could do with it. What I would generally recommend would be starting with, just moving a little bit slower. Be like, okay, try to maybe poke, well, okay, well, why didn't you take that offer? Kind of thing. It's like, if you've got an offer, it's like, what I would do is, I don't necessarily have the wording myself, but I would YouTube that conversation, right? Go to YouTube and type in, the seller said they got a higher offer. Type that in. What do I?
Okay, I'm using basically ChatGPT with all my.
That's good too.
It works really good.
Yeah.
How that thing works, and I mean, you just change a couple of things here and there, and that's it. But
yeah.
I think I made a mistake, but I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna wait. I sent the text yesterday. He sent me back. He texted me back on Sunday. I didn't want to bother him on Sunday, so I texted him back yesterday.
Okay. So I don't think you made a mistake. yet. I think getting the contract is the most important part right now. And I
Yeah.
think if he says yes to the contract and you do some due diligence and you have to make it 25, you just go back to him and say, hey, you know, we found this, this, and this because of these reasons. You know, I can't give you 36 anymore. Could you do 30 or something? Right. So I don't think you did anything wrong, quote unquote. But I think what's important for you now is how important your due diligence is if he says yes, right? So I think
Right.
it's just important that if he does say yes, okay, great, let me do a bunch of research. I'll get the contract over to you. And then your first goal, you get the contract signed. That's number one. Number two is you make sure that you do as much due diligence as humanly possible to make sure you're protected and it's actually worth you getting a profit.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now because I don't have like a crazy course to do. So I have the time to do that. That's what I'm doing. Before I call somebody, you know, the strategy from LPG, they just tell you, you know, just a 5-minute research and that's it. I'm thinking like half an hour for each one to make sure I want to know my range of prices where I can go minimum and maximum, you know. And in this case, I think, well, I'm gonna make less money, but I can still make like 10 grand if he agrees.
Right. That's a lot.
I mean, so far I just sold one property for 6,000 profit.
Right.
That was the first one. And I'm trying to, you know, keep going and let's see what's going on. But
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And no, I think you did the right thing. I think you can still come up with some profit. Second.
so how long do you think I should wait to text him back again?
So what I would do, you messaged him yesterday. That's what you said.
Yes.
I would
Yes.
follow up with him this afternoon. I'd wait 2 hours and I follow up is easy for me. I say, hey, I just wanted to follow up with you on our previous conversation. So I don't get too crazy on the follow-up talk. I don't get too crazy on the follow-up
No,
talk.
I don't want to be too pushy, you know. That's what I
Right.
feel that I probably did. I don't know.
No, I don't think you were too pushy at all. I don't think you were too pushy with him. I think you did the exact right thing with him. I just hope that you weren't too hasty to offer more money. I don't think you were too pushy with him at all. Okay.
Right.
Just so
Yeah.
you know, I think you did the right thing with him. The thing we have to be worried about is, do we still make money off of this
Yeah,
amount?
I can still make money with that problem. I mean, less
Well,
money. I mean, it's still
I
a
love
problem.
that.
It's a problem.
I love that. Well, then, if that's the case, you definitely weren't too pushy with him. Okay, so I wouldn't worry about that. I think that's probably exactly what he wanted. Hey, I got a higher offer. Great, I'll beat it. You know, if anything, you may have beat it a little too fast, but that's not that. But I think that's it. But that's not that big of a deal. And then if you talk to him again, he goes, "Well, why'd you come up so fast?" You could be like, "Dude, I don't want to play around. I want to get. I mean, that was my highest offer I could give you, you know, but I didn't want you to think I was wasting your time." So my suggestion would be, if he does comment on, "Oh, well, you certainly came up a lot," blah, 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 we'll be like, "Look, you know, I want to let you know I'm serious. I'm not trying to waste your time. So if you're interested, I can get a contract over to you." So that would be my next steps if I were you.
But everything is gonna be probably via text because he doesn't answer the phone.
He doesn't answer the phone. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Gotcha.
I think if I can get him on the phone, I can be more explicit of what I'm thinking or what I'm trying to tell him to convince him. But via text is kind of harder because you want to make a letter, you know, via text message, reasons or whatever.
Yeah. No, 100%.
So
100%.
yeah.
But no, I think you're doing the right stuff. I do got to run. I got my next meeting starting right now, Hans. But you know, my cell phone number is the one on the website too. If you ever need anything in between these calls, just give me a call on my cell and I'll help you out with any leads or anything you might need.
Yeah, thanks. So should I schedule for next week or?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you
Or
can do that if
leads?
you want. Yeah, it's all your call.
I mean, how many days should I wait for call you back, or I don't know how does that work?
It's up to you. Whatever works best for you. You can schedule for next week or the week after. It's all about, whatever makes you the most comfortable. So you feel free to book whenever you want to. I'll be here for you.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy. I mean, I'm getting leads and I'm trying to work them out. So
Yeah.
definitely I'm getting more leads than my mail list, but
Yeah.
kind of leads that I'm trying to figure it out yet.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a good start. And then let me know anything comes up. You can just call my cell too. We don't always have to have these formal meetings. We can. These meetings are better for like stats and stuff, but if you just have a quick question, feel free to call me right away.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, but have a good day.
You too as well. Bye.
Bye-bye.